Hey everybody, it's Adrienne. I am working on cutting some lace out right now, and I thought I would do a quick little update. It has been radio silence on all of my social media because it is full swing into busy season, and I have been graciously swamped. I never like saying that I am, overloaded with work because I am so thankful, but there has just been back to back to back to back projects to finish up this season, and it has been a whirlwind. So I haven't had a minute to finish any of the stuff that I have started filming for content lately. But I wanted to give you an idea of some stuff that's coming up soon because it's just been so much on my mind. Obviously, when you're sitting and sewing, a million ideas come to you and, overload you extra when you're working on things. So I have started planning some things, some goal items I want to work on for next year based on some stressors that I'm having currently. And I am kind of reverse engineering for next year. So, what my thought is anything that's bothering me now could potentially bother me next year. So, what kind of things do I need to do to get in front of those stressors? And I went ahead and got another dollar store planner. I love how big they are, just they open flat. And I'm going to go ahead and start writing in and doing some actual time blocking for next year of weekends for fittings and for sewing. I think what I'm going to do now is have some weekends where I don't see anybody extra, nobody extra, just my family, and just have family and sew time, and have maybe 1 or 2 weekends a month that are just for fittings and pickups, and that's it. So kind of separating my time a little bit more clear, and just really paying attention to pickup schedules and maybe putting those a little bit more at an easy place for me. I love being accommodating to my clients, but I think it'll be really, really helpful for me to look at what actually is helpful for me for pickups and see if I can make the schedule reflect that. So that way I can group things a little bit better. I've done a really good job this season of grouping stuff in a way that makes sense for me, but just tightening that up a little bit. One of the other things I was thinking of now this year, I've been working on like food prepping, grocery shopping, meal planning, and it's definitely still a work in progress. I am definitely struggling right now to do that. I've been asking for lots of dinners out, pizza, and which I love pizza, but I want to do a little bit less of that in the next year. And I did do a lot of freezer prep that has been really helpful, but it's gone now. I've used it all. So I need to look through the calendar and count, but I think I need to pre-make 60 meals for my freezer. And honestly, if we're being serious, I probably need more than 60, but I think my freezer can probably only hold 60. We have, the stereotypical garage freezer, but not like a chest freezer. So I think, and that just means I need to be like doing that like it's my job. Maybe in like January and February, I need to hit the food prep and the freezer building, like for realsies, like a job, 60 meals at least, or something that has enough for 60 servings, for 3 people. You know what I mean? So I need to go through that and what that actually looks like in real terms, but that will help me feel a lot better if I'm asking for less dinners out and just kind of managing that a little bit tighter, because I have not had much time or energy lately to do much more than telling my partner, hey, I need you to think of dinner. I need you to think of it, buy it, execute it, clean it up. I need the whole process. I need help, which is great because he is helpful with that. But at the same time, like, I would just like to feel a little less needy in that area. So I'm going to try to do that thinking ahead for next year. So that way this season doesn't feel quite as, crunched. I think another goal that I want to work on is, like I said, just blocking off some actual days of the week where I don't do any sewing, and then some that I do. I need to separate out the days that I'm doing things, because I do have a really hard time being a mom, partner, and a seamstress all in one day. Is really rough. So I want to do each of them a little bit more separately so that I can do better at all of them, if that makes any sense out loud. I'm very much still figuring out this whole process and what, the balance looks like for me. I have been struggling to find that, but, for as big of a struggle and as like a bummer it is to not feel like you're doing a good job, I also need to remember that like a lot of these things I'm doing all at the same time for the very first time. So, um, I have never had a cute kiddo banging at my door while I'm working saying mama. And it just, oh. That is motivation enough right there to figure out how to fix my schedule so that way um, I can be able to be more present and, um, still have reliable sewing time, but to where it's not going to injure my time with my child or my sleep time either, because I don't think most moms sleep. Feel free to leave me in the comments if you're a mom that works. When do you sleep and how long do you sleep? Because I think a lot of moms don't sleep at all, and I actually need to sleep. So I can't just be going on no sleep, because believe me, I've tried to do no sleep and just a boatload of caffeine, and maybe I haven't found my caffeine yet, but there's only so much coffee and Celsius one person can drink before you damage your liver. So just trying to find some more sustainable solutions for all those things. Those are the main ones that have been pain points right now, is just not feeling like I'm able to. The sewing is tight. Still, thank God. But I always feel like I could spend more time with my kid and like my partner, and just be more present for both of them too. So it's learning all this balance, and I'm just really glad that I have those items more sort of under my control than if I had a standard 9 to 5, because you're committed to a certain hourly that's not flexible. And so at least this is very flexible and I can impact change, but I have to figure out what change I need and then what will impact that. So it's taking me a minute to figure out which items are bothering me and then what kind of solution I even need. So that's going to take me a hot minute to figure out those things, because it's just like diagnosing a disease or an illness or something. You have to figure out what are the symptoms, and then treat the cause of it, not just treat all the symptoms. So I'm trying to figure out what will actually show some improvement, some balance, some peace for myself, because at the end my goal is to feel like I can do well at everything. And I understand that maybe that's a pie in the sky goal, but I can try, right? I can try. So yes, in short of staying awake 24 hours a day, I would not be a very pleasant person to be around if I did that. But in short of that, I'll figure out some schedule. I've also been working on, slowly getting our house unpacked, organized, just getting some systems in place in the house that make things a little bit easier to manage it. That's going to be a work in progress for a long time, I'm sure, though, because home building is its own whole thing, and my partner and I have really never done that before. So we're kind of learning on the fly what works and what doesn't work, and making changes as they're necessary and stuff. So that's everything's learning in progress. But I guess if you're not learning, you're not living. So there's that. But all these things have been super on my mind lately, because I'm sure everybody struggles with these feelings too of guilt and shame, and like you're not doing enough, but you're tired, so you're doing everything right. It's just such a weird feeling to be so tired, but not feeling like you're accomplishing anything. Like, how is that even possible? How is it even possible to be so exhausted, but you're not doing enough or doing anything? So clearly it can't be true. Like, you're probably kicking a lot of butt. It just doesn't feel like it, because there's still lots of stuff to do. And frankly, I feel like every bridal seamstress knows there's always stuff to do. There's always an next dress. There's always some rush out there that could use you. There's always an emergency bride. There's always something to do. Even in slow season, there's veils to make. There's corset kits to prep. There's cleaning that we all skip. There's tons of stuff to do. So I think probably the end goal of getting everything done isn't a real goal, because there's always things coming up behind. And like that lack of celebration in between each project is hard. It's hard on your body and your brain, because you're working so hard and you want to like take that sigh of relief moment where you're like, no, I can't sit down and rest because the next dress is waiting for me. So I feel like in a lot of ways that's always been something that I've struggled with, is there's no celebration moment. And if there is, it's literally like a moment, like one coffee drink's worth of time where you're like, woohoo, and you're celebrating a really difficult dress going out the door, or, you know, you're celebrating a bride sending you photos or something like that, or you're celebrating with your sewing buddies talking about some cool thing you just did. But there's not really like a long pause in between. I think we all kind of just crash and burn at the end of the season and do a recap at the end, which honestly, that's what I do. I recap at the end of the season, like at the end of the year at Christmas. But like I said before, I think Christmas is such a good time of year. Everybody's feeling happy and positive, and I think for me, I think I probably put a positive spin on it with, you know, rosy Christmas glasses. So I look back and I'd be like, oh, I made so many brides happy. This is wonderful. But like, I think the real impact is going to come from me looking at the difficult parts of the year, the brides that I struggled with, either in communicating with them, or, you know, what things could I have done better there and what processes can I use to improve for next year. And, you know, what close calls did I have and how can I mitigate that for next year? What do I need to buy some different storage? Do I need to get, you know, a better spreadsheet to use? Like, what is the solution to that problem as soon as I figure out what the problem was? So I hope that I can come up with some stuff that's applicable to others as well, because man, I sure would love to be able to share anything that I've learned to make this easier for anybody else, because that sure makes it feel a lot more worth it when you can share something that you've learned and it makes somebody else's life a little easier. That's exactly why I like sharing everything that I know how to do, and talking with others about the difficulties of what we do. Obviously, it's nice to talk about the positive stuff, but I feel like when you're doing the really hard stuff, that's when you're growing as a seamstress and as a person. And if you're not growing, then what are you doing? You know, you should always be doing things that are challenging you as a seamstress, making you better so that you can be the best, right? I mean, it's okay to just be like coasting in the middle for a while, but at the end of the day, there's always things to improve on. We all could learn how to use our rolled hem foot a little better. We all could get better at putting an invisible zipper in just a little bit crisper, you know. There's always little details we can be polishing up on. And the business stuff is definitely something we all could polish up on too. And, you know, the admin. I feel like admin is such a struggle, but I think it's the key to everything. So, yeah, that's all the stuff that's been on my mind while I've been working. I know. It'd be so nice to have like peace and quiet in my brain while I was working, but she don't have that. She don't have that chill. And I guess one of my goals for next year should be working on content creation specifically. I know some people make a full like calendar or list of topics they're going to talk about, but I really like seeing what is needed real time. I like seeing what the struggles are around me, and with the bridal shop, like what things are popping up, because it seems like things pop up in multiples. So whenever there's a struggle with something, everybody in the community is feeling it too. So right now, the current topic is going to be talked about further, is how to like network with other bridal shops. If you're a seamstress, how to approach them if you want referrals, how to speak to other seamstresses in your area, how to build friends, how to handle difficult situations if they arise with another seamstress, you know, just anything like that. And that's been a huge trend this year. I feel like I have just bonked into so many, I don't want to say issues because that makes them all sound bad, but a lot of opportunities to meet other seamstresses and build connections with them that have been amazing. And, you know, just how we all interact with each other in the community, because we're all in the same industry together. So the potential for us all to be besties and help each other out does exist if you're interested in that. Not everybody wants to be friends, and I get that. But I'll still try to make you be my friend, because that's just who I am. And, like, you know, we all need each other at some point. And especially if you have local seamstress buddies, it's really helpful. You know, if you need a zipper in a pinch, or if you're struggling with a neckline or an armhole or a zipper, and you know you have someone you can call on, or like if you get sick and you need backup. I've had lots of friends that have helped me in the past when I wasn't feeling well, or, you know, just to commiserate or ask for ideas, just to bounce something off of them. So that topic has been super, super strong this year. And I'm hoping that means that in general, like, community building will be much better. Because if you think about it, most of us that are, I'm like in the middle of my sewing journey. If you really think about it, my age puts me right in the middle. So I'm not a brand new baby seamstress, but I'm not a seasoned older gal that's doing like fine hand work for, I feel like I should explain that. I feel like as a young baby seamstress, I always looked at the older like master seamstresses as having time to do like smocking and, really fine embroidery on like baby garments for their family. Like that's how I know that I am of that master level when I'm turning work away to do hand sewing for like my grandkids. I feel like that's just such a milestone as a seamstress. And granted, not everybody does that. It's just a really idyllic view. I love Hallmark Channel, okay? That's what that means. So I look forward to those years when I am a master seamstress and I am so balanced with my time that I have the time and energy to, hand embroider beautiful linens. I don't know. So, man, I wish I remember where I was going with that. I got into a tunnel. But I still have 30 or 40 more years in this industry in my area. So it behooves me and others to be able to network and talk and refer each other and share advice and share tips and share sources. And, because we're going to be all in this together for a while. This is our life. So, anywho's, that's just what's been on my mind lately. I hope any of that sounds interesting to you. If anything sounds particularly interesting more than another, let me know so that I can start with that content. I have several video starts already in progress, but I need to wrap them all up. It's a lot easier for me if I record and, film something all in a row instead of having to go back and remember what I've already said. But, oh well, tomato, potato, it happens. All right. I'm so excited to get this little veil done. This is a surprise one that I'm doing for somebody. So anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I will see you later.